You don't actually want a better mindset. You want your mind to stop feeling like a room you have to constantly clean, constantly manage, constantly apologize for. You want a place inside you that finally feels quiet enough to rest. And if you're here, I'm going to assume something important. You've been trying, you've been doing the work, you've been listening to the teachings, repeating the affirmations, breathing through the waves, and still, the mind finds a way to tighten again. Have you noticed how it's not even always about what's happening? It's about what your mind predicts might happen. So let's start gently, right here. Let your shoulders soften just a little as you hear these words. Notice if your jaw is holding on. Notice your breath, not to change it, only to witness it. Because the first step of reprogramming your mind is not changing your mind. It's creating a new kind of safety inside your body, so your mind doesn't have to work so hard to protect you. And yes, I said protect you. Because here's what I've come to understand. The mind doesn't repeat old stories because you're failing. It repeats them because it believes repetition is survival. It learned at some point that scanning, anticipating, rehearsing, judging, and controlling were the way to keep you safe enough to keep going. Your mind isn't your enemy. It's a devoted guardian that got trained in a world where softness didn't always feel possible. You've been carrying this, and it's heavy. To always be the one inside yourself who has to be on. There are people who can't understand this because from the outside you look fine. You show up, you handle things, you respond, you're reliable. You might even be the one others lean on. And yet inside, your mind rarely stops talking. It comments on your choices. It warns you. It compares you. It replays conversations. It plans for every possible outcome, just in case. And if you've been doing that for years, it starts to feel like that's just who you are. Like calm is a personality you weren't given. You're not imagining this. There is a particular kind of tired that comes from living with a mind that never fully trusts life. Not because you're ungrateful, not because you're negative, but because somewhere along the way you learned that peace is what happens only when everything is handled, only when everyone is okay, only when nothing can surprise you. And the tragic part is, life always surprises us. So if peace depends on control, peace will always feel temporary. Let that settle for a moment, because this is important to hear. The goal isn't to get rid of your thoughts. The goal is to reprogram the relationship you have with them. The goal is to teach your mind something it may never have been taught clearly, that you can be safe without being tense, that you can be loved without being perfect, that you can belong without being small. Just breathe with me for a moment, in and out. Notice how the breath happens without you forcing it. Your body already knows how to support you. It's been doing that quietly, faithfully, your whole life. And now we're going to bring that same kind of faithful support to your mind. because the mind doesn't change through force. It changes through repetition paired with safety. It changes when you meet the old pattern at the exact moment it rises, and you respond differently, not with punishment, but with presence. If you've been trying to reprogram your mind by fighting it, arguing with it, or shaming it into silence, of course it hasn't worked. That would be like trying to calm a frightened child by yelling at them to stop being afraid. And maybe no one ever told you this, but your mind has been scared for a long time. Sometimes it's scared of being rejected. Sometimes it's scared of failing. Sometimes it's scared of being misunderstood, abandoned, criticized, exposed. Sometimes it's scared of finally relaxing and then something painful happening again. Because if you grew up in a world where love was inconsistent, or emotions were unsafe, or you had to be the strong one, your mind made a very logical decision. Stay alert, stay prepared, stay ahead. That was intelligent. That was survival. And it doesn't mean you have to live there forever. Your heart already knows this. You're ready for something different. So let's talk about what reprogramming actually is, in a way that isn't fluffy or vague. Reprogramming is not pretending you're okay when you're not. It's not plastering positive words over a nervous system that's still bracing. It's not forcing gratitude while your inner world is asking for tenderness. Reprogramming is the steady, loving practice of teaching your inner system new evidence. New evidence that you can feel discomfort and still be okay. New evidence that you can make a mistake and still be worthy. New evidence that you can rest and life won't punish you for it. New evidence that you can be yourself and still be loved. And yes, that's evidence, not theory. Do you see the difference? Because the mind is not convinced by beautiful ideas. The mind is convinced by lived experience repeated over time. So if we're going to reprogram your mind for lasting inner harmony, we have to work in the place where harmony actually lives. Not just in your thoughts, but in your body, your breath, your choices, and your meaning. Here's a gentle truth. Most of your thoughts are not truth. They're protection, they're prediction, they're old training, they're reflex. You might notice your mind says things like, I'm behind, I'm not enough, they're going to leave, I'll mess this up, I should have done better. What if something goes wrong? And it says them with such confidence that you assume they're facts. But what if I told you a thought can feel urgent without being true? Your mind learned urgency to keep you moving. And the first reprogramming step is learning to recognize urgency as a signal, not as a command. So right now, just consider this question. When your mind starts racing, do you treat it like a weather report or like a law? Because many of us treat thoughts like laws. We obey them. We rearrange our lives around them. We become smaller, tighter, more careful, because a thought said we had to. And yet, thoughts are often just clouds passing through the sky of awareness. You don't have to chase every cloud. You don't have to build a home inside every storm. Let your breath deepen slightly if that feels available. Feel the air move in your chest. You don't have to do this perfectly. Just be with yourself. Now, there's something happening in the exact moment you get triggered that most people don't talk about. And it's one of the most powerful doorways to inner harmony. It's the moment between the spark and the fire. Something happens. Someone says something. You remember something. You feel that familiar squeeze in your chest or throat, and your mind begins the old program. The criticism, the defense, the spiraling, the shame, the controlling. But before the story fully takes over, there is a brief space, a small opening, and inside that opening is your power. Most people miss it because it's fast, it's subtle, it's almost silent. But once you learn to find it, your whole inner world can change. That opening is where you can choose a different response. Not a perfect response, a kinder one. Not a spiritual bypass, a real one. Here's what that looks like. You feel the trigger, and instead of immediately following the thought, you name the sensation. You might quietly say inside, tightness, or heat, or pressure, or a wave, because naming sensation brings you into the present. It moves you out of the old story and into the living moment. And when you're in the living moment, you can do something incredibly reprogramming. You can send your system the message, I'm here, just that, I'm here. You're not alone inside yourself anymore. Notice what happens in your body when you imagine saying, I'm here. Even if it's small, even if it's subtle, something in you recognizes safety when you show up. This is important to hear. Inner harmony doesn't come from never getting triggered. It comes from having a reliable way to return to yourself after you do. Because triggers aren't proof you're broken. They're proof you're human. They're proof you have history. They're proof your system learned patterns. And patterns can be gently changed. So let's talk about the first big program that disrupts harmony. The belief that you must earn peace. Many people carry an invisible rule. I can relax when everything is done. Or, I can relax when everyone is happy. Or, I can relax when I'm certain nothing will go wrong. But life is not a checklist. It's a living river. There will always be another task, another message, another unknown. So, if your nervous system is waiting for a perfect moment to soften, it will wait forever. What if reprogramming is letting peace be the ground you stand on, not the prize you win? Your heart already knows this. You were not born believing you had to earn rest. You learned that. Perhaps you watched adults who were always busy, always stressed, always pushing. Perhaps you were praised for being responsible, mature, helpful. Perhaps you learned that being needed was safer than being vulnerable. And so you trained your mind to stay useful, stay alert, stay ready. I see you trying so hard to hold it all together. And yes, it has helped you survive. And also, it has cost you something. It has cost you the softness of your own presence. So here is a practice that sounds almost too simple, but it is deeply reprogramming when repeated. Give your mind a new sentence it can trust. Not a fantasy sentence, a true sentence. Something like, in this moment, I am safe enough. Safe enough, not perfectly safe, not forever safe, just safe enough right now. Because your mind can accept safe enough. It can feel that as realistic, grounded, possible. And when the mind can accept it, the body begins to loosen. And when the body loosens, the mind stops gripping so hard. Try it quietly inside. In this moment, I am safe enough. Let your exhale be long. Let your shoulders drop a millimeter. Let your tongue rest in your mouth. Let your eyes soften behind your eyelids if they're closed. This is how harmony begins, not through grand gestures, but through tiny permissions. And if you notice resistance, if part of you says, "No, I'm not safe," or "Don't be naive," that's okay. That's just the old program trying to protect you. You don't have to fight it. You can include it. You might say, "I hear you. I know why you're here. And I'm still choosing this." That is inner authority, gentle authority. Now, the second program that disrupts harmony is the belief that your thoughts are you. So many people say, "I am anxious. I am overthinking. I am broken. I am too sensitive." But what if I told you, you are not your mind? You are the one who notices the mind. Something in you is aware of thoughts. That awareness is steady. It doesn't panic the way thoughts panic. It doesn't attack the way thoughts attack. It observes. And when you begin to identify with the observer instead of the thought, you create space. Space is harmony. Because harmony isn't a constant state of bliss. Harmony is enough space inside you to respond instead of react. So here's a simple reframe. Instead of "I am anxious," try "Anxiety is here." Instead of "I am failing," try "The fear of failing is here." Instead of "I am too much," try "The story that I'm too much is here." Do you feel the difference? You are no longer inside the storm. You're standing at the window, watching it pass. And from that place, you can offer compassion rather than panic. Your heart already knows this. Compassion is not weakness. It's regulation. It's medicine. Now, let's speak about something very tender, because it's often the hidden engine behind mental unrest, the inner critic. That voice that says you should have done better. You're behind. You're not doing enough. Why can't you just get it together? That voice can feel like it's pushing you to improve, but if you listen closely, it doesn't sound like encouragement. It sounds like threat. And here's the truth. Many people don't want to admit the inner critic is often a frightened part of you trying to prevent pain by preemptively punishing you. It believes that if it criticizes you first, the world will hurt less. If you've been shamed before, The inner critic tries to shame you into safety. If you've been abandoned before, the inner critic tries to make you perfect so you won't be left again. If you've been criticized before, the inner critic tries to keep you small enough to avoid attention. So when you fight the inner critic, you intensify the war. And you don't need more war inside you. You need understanding. What if, the next time that voice shows up, you don't obey it, and you don't battle it, you listen beneath it? Because beneath criticism, there is usually fear, and beneath fear, there is usually a longing to be loved, to be safe, to belong. You might whisper inside, "What are you afraid will happen if I don't do this perfectly?" Just ask. And then pause. Let your body breathe. Because sometimes the answer comes as words, and sometimes it comes as a feeling, a tightening, a sadness, a memory, a sense of, "I'll be rejected." If that comes, meet it softly. "I see you. You've been carrying this, and you don't have to carry it alone anymore." Now I want to share a brief story, not to make this about me, but to give you a mirror you can hold gently. I once sat with someone who had trained themselves to stay busy every moment they were awake, not because they loved productivity, but because in stillness, old pain rose. When they finally tried to rest, their mind screamed, "Get up, do something, fix something." And they thought that meant they were broken at relaxation. But the truth was simpler. Their system had associated stillness with danger. Rest wasn't lazy, it was unfamiliar. And the moment they started offering kindness to that fear, instead of forcing themselves into calm, something began to soften. Not all at once, but steadily. You're being offered that same softening. So let's name this Klee Arlie. If calm feels hard, it does not mean you're doing it wrong. It means calm is new, and new can feel scary even when it's good. Now we come to one of the deepest reprogramming points, and it's the one that creates lasting inner harmony, the beliefs you made into contracts. We all have them. We don't call them contracts, but that's what they are. Silent agreements you made with life, usually in childhood or early pain, and you've been living by them ever since. Contracts like, "I have to be strong. I have to take care of everyone. I have to be pleasing to be loved. I have to stay in control. I have to be perfect. I have to anticipate danger." And when you live under these contracts, your mind will never relax, because it's working overtime to fulfill an impossible agreement. So reprogramming is not just changing thoughts, it's revising contracts. And the way you revise them is not by shaming yourself for having them. It's by honoring why you created them. You created them to survive. You created them to belong. You created them to make sense of a world that didn't always meet you gently. Can you feel the compassion in that? Now, choose one contract that you suspect you've been living by. Just one. Don't overthink it. Maybe it's, "I have to be good," or "I have to be productive," or "I can't disappoint anyone." Let it come naturally, and then Place a hand on your chest if that feels comfortable. Feel the warmth of your hand. Feel how your body responds to touch. Now whisper inside, I release this contract. Not because it was wrong, but because you're ready. If your mind argues, that's okay. You're not trying to force belief. You're planting a new possibility. And then offer a replacement that is both compassionate and true. If the contract was, I have to be perfect to be loved, the new truth might be, I am lovable in my humanity. If the contract was, I have to control everything, the new truth might be, I can trust myself to respond. If the contract was, I have to keep everyone happy, the new truth might be, I honor myself as well. Say it slowly inside. Let it settle into your nervous system like warm tea. This is how the mind reprograms, through repeated, embodied truth. Not motivational shouting, not denial, truth. Now, remember what I mentioned about that small moment between the spark and the fire? Here's the piece that changes everything. The fastest way to reprogram your mind is to interrupt the old pattern with a new body signal. Because the mind follows the body's cues. If your body is tight, your mind interprets danger. If your breath is shallow, your mind searches for a reason. If your jaw is clenched, your mind becomes sharp. So rather than chasing thoughts, you go to the switchboard, the body. Here are 3 micro shifts that are so simple they can be done anywhere, and so powerful they create real change over time. First, lengthen your exhale by just a second. That's all. When you exhale longer, the body receives the message, we are not in immediate danger. Second, unclench one place, your shoulders, your belly, your hands. Choose one. The mind learns, I can loosen and still survive. Third, soften your gaze. Even if you're looking at a screen, soften the muscles around the eyes. This tells the nervous system, I don't have to hunt for threats. Do you see what's happening? You're giving your mind new evidence, and the mind begins to trust. Now, if you've been doing everything right and you still feel restless, it may be because harmony requires truth, not performance. Some people try to be spiritual in a way that bypasses their reality. They speak light words while carrying heavy feelings. They smile while their inner child is terrified. They meditate while their boundaries are violated. They affirm while their body is screaming no. And the system does not settle when we perform peace. It settles when we tell the truth kindly. So here is a question that can reprogram you at the root. Where are you asking your mind to be calm while your life is asking you to be honest? Maybe you're staying in a relationship that costs you your self-respect. Maybe you're working in a way that drains your soul. Maybe you're saying yes when you mean no. Maybe you're holding back your needs, your voice, your truth. If that resonates, Let it land gently. No shame, no panic, only clarity. Because inner harmony is not a decoration, it's alignment. And alignment sometimes means making a different choice. A small one, a quiet one, a brave one. Now, I want to offer you another truth your heart already recognizes. Your sensitivity is not your weakness. You may have been told you're too sensitive, too emotional, too intense. But what if the thing you've been trying to manage, to tone down, to hide, is actually your guidance system? Your sensitivity is how you detect misalignment. Your sensitivity is how you feel truth. Your sensitivity is how you know what is yours and what is not. And when you learn to hold your sensitivity with love instead of judgment, your mind stops fighting itself. That sensitivity you've been trying to manage, it's your gift. Let that settle for a moment. Because once you stop treating your inner responses as problems, you begin to treat them as information. And information is empowering. So when anxiety rises, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you might ask, "What is this pointing to?" When the mind spirals, instead of asking, "How do I stop this?" you might ask, "What part of me is trying to be heard?" When you feel restless, instead of asking, "Why can't I be satisfied?" you might ask, "What is my soul asking me to adjust?" Do you feel how that changes the energy? You're no longer at war with yourself. You're in conversation with yourself. That is reprogramming. Now let's talk about one of the most practical and overlooked ways to create lasting inner harmony, the environment of your attention. Your mind gets programmed by what it repeatedly consumes. Not only media, but people, conversations, self-talk, and the internal images you replay. If you repeatedly replay worst-case scenarios, your mind practices fear. If you repeatedly replay old humiliations, your mind practices shame. If you repeatedly replay what you should have said, what you should have done, your mind practices regret, and the mind becomes skilled at what it practices. So here is a gentle invitation. Practice something else. Not in a forced way, in a devoted way. There's a simple daily practice you can do in 2 minutes, and it builds peace the way a garden grows, one real moment at a time. I call it the return. When you notice your mind has left the present, when it's in the past or in the future, pause and say quietly inside, return. Return to breath. Return to body. Return to now. Then name 3 things you can feel: the air on your skin, the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breath. Then offer one true sentence. At this moment, I am safe enough. That's it. It's so simple that the mind may dismiss it, but repetition is how the program changes. 2 minutes daily is not small. It's a new relationship. And there will be days you forget, days you spiral, days you snap, days you judge yourself. That does not mean you failed. It means you're human. And here is the reprogramming moment on those days. How you speak to yourself afterward. If you speak with punishment, you reinforce the old contract. Love is conditional. Worth is earned. If you speak with compassion, you teach your system a new truth. I am safe with myself even when I'm messy. So after a hard moment, you might say, "That was difficult. You were trying to protect me, and I'm still here with you." This is important to hear. Your mind learns fastest when you are kind after imperfection. Because kindness is safety, and safety is what makes change sustainable. Now, I want to bring in something that many people avoid because it feels too simple, but it's one of the most powerful reprogramming tools, gratitude that is not performative. Not, "I'm grateful so I don't have to feel pain." Not, "I'm grateful so I can be positive." Real gratitude. The kind that says, even here, something is supporting me. It might be the breath. It might be a friend. It might be a warm drink. It might be the fact that you're still trying. When you let yourself feel even one real moment of support, your mind begins to loosen its grip. Because the mind relaxes when it trusts there is support. And if you don't feel support right now, let this be enough. You are here. You are listening. You are open. That is not nothing. That is courage. That is life moving through you. Now, there's another open loop we need to close. Earlier, we spoke about those invisible contracts. Here's the deeper layer. Many of those contracts were formed around love. Love was perhaps conditional. Love was perhaps earned. Love was perhaps inconsistent. Love was perhaps tied to performance, to being good, to being easy, to not having needs. So your mind learned to manage love, to strategize love, to minimize yourself so love wouldn't leave. And if you learn that, inner harmony can feel threatening, because harmony means you stop performing. And the old mind says, if we stop performing, we'll lose love. So this is the moment where reprogramming becomes sacred. You begin to teach yours, Elf, a new experience of love inside. Not because you're alone, but because you deserve to be held from within. You might say to yourself, I am learning to love myself in a way that feels safe. Not dramatic, not perfect, just real. And if your body tightens at that, that's okay. It's new. Like the first time you step into warm water after being cold for a long time. It feels unfamiliar, but it is kind. Now we need to be grounded here too. If you're carrying deep pain, trauma, or mental health challenges, spiritual practice is not meant to replace professional support. Many have found these tools support their wellness journey alongside therapy, medical care, and loving community. Honor what your body and your healthcare providers guide you toward. You deserve support in every form it arrives. And still, even with all support, the daily inner relationship matters. Because no matter what you do, you will always live with you. So let's make that relationship peaceful. Now I want to offer you a final piece that ties everything together. Lasting inner harmony is not the absence of noise. It's the presence of trust. Trust in your ability to handle life. Trust in your worthiness even when you struggle. Trust in your body's wisdom. Trust in your heart. This trust is built through tiny moments of choosing yourself again and again. When you set one boundary, when you rest for 5 minutes without guilt, when you speak kindly after a mistake, when you interrupt the spiral with an exhale, when you return to now. These are not small things. These are the new program. And over time, the mind begins to shift in ways you can't force, but you can witness. You may notice you recover faster after triggers. You may notice the critic gets quieter. You may notice you don't believe every thought. You may notice calm becomes less fragile. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you become anchored. Your heart already knows this. You're not here to live in constant tension. You're here to live in truth. So let's bring it home with a simple daily ritual you can carry with you like a touchstone. Once a day, place a hand on your chest. Breathe slowly and ask yourself, what do I need right now to feel safe enough? It might be water, it might be rest, it might be honesty, it might be a boundary, it might be a movement, it might be soft, it might be letting yourself feel. Then offer yourself one act of that. 1, not 10, not perfect, 1. And afterward say, I am proud of you. Because your system needs to learn that care is not earned by crisis. Care is allowed by being human. This is how we reprogram the mind, not through grand declarations, but through daily devotion. And I want you to remember something, especially if you've been hard on yourself. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are unfolding. Like a flower doesn't blame itself for not blooming in winter, you don't need to blame yourself for taking time to soften after years of bracing. You've been carrying this, and you're still here. That means something in you is unbelievably strong. And yes, I said strong, not the kind of strength that forces, but the kind that stays open. So when your mind tightens again, and it will because you're human, meet it like you would meet someone you love. You might say, oh, there you are. I know why you're here, and I'm safe with me now. That sentence is a doorway. And each time you walk through it, inner harmony becomes less like a distant dream and more like a familiar room inside your own heart, where you can rest, where you can breathe, where you can come home again and again as life keeps moving and you keep learning and you keep choosing yourself with love.